Hi, I'm Egan from the digital marketing agency Get Found Madison, based out of Madison, Wisconsin. And today I'm presenting why and how to run effective social media ads. So welcome, you are in the right place. If you know how important advertising on these platforms is, if you've wondered about them or if you've struggled with them in the past, don't worry, it's not your fault. We'll talk about what you can do. And you want to see some successful campaigns in action. I always find it's helpful to see what's working out in the world so I can mimic it. And also, my goal for this training is I want you to see the big picture of what truly matters in your paid social media marketing, but also your marketing more broadly. I want you to be able to reach and exceed your marketing and sales goals. And I'm going to skip all the technobabble that you sometimes hear from digital marketing consultants. I just want to speak normal language so everyone can understand. I also want to introduce at the very end my course that teaches you how to run Facebook and Instagram ads in the way that I'm talking about. So my name is Egan, like I said, and my agency is called Get Found Madison. This is year number 6 in business for us. We started as an SEO agency. We got into Google ads and then Facebook ads. We've done some WordPress websites, and we've got into email marketing and automation as well. So now we're a digital marketing agency, and I've got a team of specialists who do Facebook and Instagram ads, Google ads, email marketing, and things like that. We started off, again, when I left my corporate job, there were over 6 pages of companies on Google for SEO Madison, Wisconsin. So in that first year, I worked really hard, and we ranked at the top by the end of that first year for SEO company in Madison, Wisconsin. The rankings are always changing, so sometimes when you check, we're bouncing around, but we got some nice rankings this way, and we also got a lot of traffic and leads, and so people still find me this way. Obviously, we got into other channels as well, like I mentioned, Google and Facebook, and so even for Facebook ads, for my business, I run Facebook ads. So I certainly believe in it, and I believe in eating our own cooking. And so some of the examples I'll show you will be ads that I actually ran like this. How does this apply to you? So I'm a big believer that you can do the same. If you're interested in marketing, if you're interested in learning this is a great field because this is not going away. This is where people's attention is, and this is very valuable to all kinds of organizations. When you know how to run Facebook and Instagram ads, you can bring leads directly to your landing pages, and you can do it inexpensively. So this is a very effective way to do what we call direct response marketing, which we'll talk about more. And it's a great way to, if you need to grow your staff, I know that's a big concern right now. This is a great way to market your open positions. If you need to get leads, if you need to get sales, if you need to grow your email subscribers, anything like that, this is a great way to do it. This is where people's attention is, and so this is where we need to meet them. Here's some proof that this works. So we run ads for e-commerce companies sometimes, and what you can see here, let me go down this. So I'm looking here in the amount spent column. So this client in the year 2021 to date through this spent $36,000 and they made almost $250,000 in sales. And so that's a 6.9x return on ad spend. That's part of how we measure the success. Now, what if we're not selling products through our site? Then we track the number of leads we get. And here, a client was able to get leads, business leads to sell to for $14 to $34 per. And if they're making a lot more profit, which this client was, per sale, this is worth a lot of money to them. This is a way to buy business growth or organizational growth. So here's what we're going to cover today. The crucial steps to take before you get started, 3 mistakes to avoid, and then I want to show you some real case studies of highly successful and wildly profitable Facebook and Instagram ads. How does that sound? All right, let's get started with those crucial steps to take before we get started. We want to plan ahead of time, right? So I often hear I can just post to my Facebook page and people will see it, or our organization or business Facebook page. And the reality is Facebook is a pay-to-play platform now, and it has been for many years. And so no matter how many people like your page on Facebook, only 1% to 2% of those followers will even see your post. So if you have 1,000 page likes, only 20 people will even maybe see whatever you post. So it's not doing any good if you're just posting every day, you're posting every week, whatever the cadence is. That was an old way of marketing on Facebook, and it's out of date by 5 to 8 years basically. So the next thing people say is, okay, I can just boost my Facebook posts and then people will see them. And yes, that's true because you're paying to play, you're getting in front of people. But the truth is, if you want the full power of Facebook's advertising platform, you need to use the full ads platform, and that's what I'm going to recommend. You need to have a clear call to action so that basically people have something you want them to do immediately after they watch your ad, and then you need to measure the results as well. And you're really only scratching the surface of what's possible if you're just boosting posts. And I mentioned at the top here, in the top bullet, the targeting is really what's so powerful in Facebook, as is just, the attention in the medium and the ability to measure. But that targeting piece, to get, the full swath of how you can target, you need to set up proper ads. So to do this, you go to business.facebook.com. This is how I often tell business owners and marketers whether we're really cooking with gas or not, is are we looking at facebook.com/our business name, or are we in business.facebook.com inside the business manager so we can get to ads manager? We want to set up and customize a pixel. So if you're running Google Analytics on your site, that's a good way to have, invisible code running in the back that is just giving you data on how many people are visiting the site, how are they getting there, what pages are they going to, what actions are they taking, etc. This is something similar. It's basically Facebook has its own analytics, and so you want to get your developer to add this code on every page on your site. We do this with a tool called Google Tag Manager, and when I use Tag Manager, I'm able to see how different code is fired, right? So here I can say on the left, I can paste in that code, Facebook Pixel, and I can say, just run this on all pages. So I have Google Tag Manager code running on my site, and then I just tell Tag Manager when to fire different tags. And you can see when someone fills out one of my forms, that actually fires the lead event, and that information goes back to Facebook, which then allows me to track cost per lead. And so I'll run Facebook and Instagram ads to say a webinar. So I use Webinar Jam for webinars, right? And I can get leads, I can get signups for a webinar for $8.83, or that was this campaign that I ran. And I may be selling, say, a $200 course, right? And so that can really be worth it to me to do that. The next thing we want to do, once we're in Business Manager and we've got the pixel set up, let's set up some audiences. Who do we want to market to? And there's all kinds of audiences you can set up here. People who've engaged with your page, people who've been on your website and left, people who look like any of those people. And the lookalike is really powerful, because then you're telling Facebook, use your algorithm, use your artificial intelligence to find me new prospects. So here are some audiences I recommend setting up in the Audience Manager. Your website visitors, this should be your first one. You can do the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever you want to do. But anybody who's been to your site and left is probably a good prospect to keep marketing to. In marketing, we talk about the rule of 7, and that means people need to see things about 7 times before they make a decision. So if someone just goes to your website and leaves and you never contact them again, that's a huge missed opportunity. You did all that work to build a website, you did all that work to get them there, but you didn't follow up, right? So that's why it makes sense to have that retargeting capability. Likewise, if people are engaging with you on Facebook or Instagram, now Facebook owns Instagram, and so when I'm talking about Facebook ads, I'm also talking about Instagram ads here, right? So if people are engaging with you on your organic social posts, which is probably more likely on Instagram these days, you can market to them again by advertising on Facebook. If you have an email list, you can upload that in there. If you have, a subscriber list, if you've got a list of previous customers, clients, patients, whatever it is, you could potentially upload that and get lookalikes off of any of these groups. So you're saying, Facebook, here are people who are good customers for me. These people were, good patients or good staff or whatever it was. Show me more, and Facebook will find you more. And then we create an offer and a landing page. So when I do this, I may have a free guide. So in this case, this was a free SEO checklist. And it's just a little video. You can see it's just a very informal video of me talking about this free guide and how it's going to help people get found on Google with an SEO checklist, right? And then I take them to a page, and the page is quite similar. It's even just the same video, right? And notice on the page, there's no menu at the top, and there's really only one thing to do. They can watch the video and then fill out their name and email and get the free offer. So I recommend having specialty landing pages built for your campaigns. Now let's take a look at the top mistakes to avoid. So many people seem to think we can just talk about ourselves and people will magically buy from us. But here's the reality. You need to grab people's attention, and you need to do it quickly. We need to put ourselves in our prospect's shoes, right? Like, they're likely on their smartphone, they're scrolling through, they're looking at pictures of friends and family and arguing about politics and looking at pictures of cats and videos of dogs, right? So we need to grab their attention quickly. And the best way to do that, I recommend, is studying marketing fundamentals and practicing the art of copywriting and also just attention grabbing, right? So let me talk about how we do this. One of our clients is the Healthy Place. It used to be called Apple Wellness, right? So they sell supplements and vitamins and things like that, right? So what we did is we talked to Tim, the owner. We said, who is your customer? And he basically told us about their customers, and we created this profile. This is a composite, right, of a person. We named her Sherry. We gave her, an age and an occupation and motivations, gave her a whole biography, talked about, she's a teacher. She's got 3 kids of her own. She's quite busy, doesn't have a lot of time, et cetera, et cetera. This is what she cares about, but she wants to make sure her kids are healthy and so on and so forth, right? So this isn't a real person, but it puts a face to a name. It like gives us a sense of who are we talking to when we market. And I used to think this was silly when I started marketing, but we started doing this and it completely juiced the results that we got for ourselves and for our clients. And now we do this for every single client, and I recommend you do the same. If you have multiple groups you sell to, you can have multiple customer personas. But I recommend taking the time doing this. We just, Google people. We use Google image search to find people who look like kind of the avatar or the persona we're creating, and we actually do this. And it takes some time up front, but it's worth the planning, right? And then when we run the actual ads and we write the copy and we create the video and everything like that, we know who we're speaking to. We're speaking to Sherry. This is what she cares about, right? And so all the talking points in our headline, all the talking points in our description, everything in the video, everything that's going to be mentioned on the landing page, it's all going to speak to that customer persona because we know what they care about, and we've learned over time from previous patients, from previous customers, right? And this is the kind of results they've seen, where they've put in $36,000, they've made $250,000 in sales attributed to these Facebook and Instagram ads, and that's 6.9x, which is the same as 690% return on ad spend. It's been phenomenal. So other people seem to think we can just run Facebook ads to our website. Hey, we've got a website. People are on social media. Social media is on the internet. Let's take them to our website. But here's the harsh truth for companies and for marketing departments. No one wants to go to your website when they're browsing Facebook and Instagram. Think of what the mindset you're in when you're using Facebook, right? You're kind of scrolling through, you're looking at things, maybe you're engaging with people's photos or comments or whatever it is, right? So you're not there to just go to someone's business website, right? So a normal website has a conversion rate in this range. And if you have a 0.5% conversion rate, that means you need 200 people to your site before you get a lead, before anyone even contacts you or buys from you or whatever the action is in the website you want people to take. Now, if you have as high as a 3% conversion rate, then you need about 33 people to come to your website before you get a lead, right? So if you can increase this number, then you don't need as many people to get leads. And so something we figured out working with our clients, this is not an example in healthcare, but it still applies. I want you to think about how you could do something like this. So this client of ours sold used cars, but then they also did the financing on it. And so they would say, get pre-qualified in less than 90 seconds. Are you having trouble getting approved for a newer, better, more reliable vehicle? We are here to help. Just short and sweet. You can see very quickly in here, bad credit auto loan. Like, this is exactly what they do. This is who they are. The information is all there very quickly. And when they click, they just go to a lead page here. And notice again, there's no menu at the top. There's nowhere to get lost in a website. There's just a video of the owner telling them what they're about and what they can expect, and then a form that they click and fill out, right? And when we did this, we had conversion rates ranging from 12% all the way up to 23%. If you have a if you have a 20% conversion rate, that means you need 5 people to your site to get a lead. That means you're really rock and rolling. So think about that 3% conversion rate, which is about what they were at. And even on the low end, we got them to 12%. That's quadrupling their results. That's cutting, what it takes to advertise in a quarter, basically. It's taking 75% of those ad costs away when you do that. And here are the results. $14 to $34 per lead. They're selling these cars that are multiple $1,000s, $8,000 to $12,000 plus, and then they're selling the financing, which is maybe even that much again on top of it, right? So this was highly profitable for them. This is how you do it. Some marketers also think, I've tried Facebook ads in the past, they didn't work. Once you're measuring your results, you can test until you find the winning formula. And that's really what's beautiful about this. When I gave the in-person talk on this, I basically said, in the old day, you'd get junk mail, right? You'd see ads in the newspaper, you'd see ads on you'd see ads on TV, you'd hear ads on the radio, right? And people were testing the ads then, but it would take a long time to measure the results. So if they sent out 100,000 pieces of mail, right, they would have to wait for the results to come back in. It might take weeks or months before they knew which version of their letter was most successful, or was the campaign even successful. And the reality is now we can test much faster. Oftentimes we can run a test in a day or a week. So here are things to test. I've recommended lookalike audiences based on your previous customers or your previous website visitors or whatever it is, right? And then I also think everybody needs to be remarketing, because that rule of 7, people are leaving your website. They didn't make a decision yet. They haven't contacted you. They haven't purchased from you. So you need to continue to marketing to them and speaking to the things they care about and why they should reach out to you, right? Images and videos are obviously really important, and it's great to see some social proof. I'll show some examples of that later, but it's not just your company saying your company is great, it's somebody else saying they're great. And then headlines and copy, make it all about them, and you always have a clear call to action. Apply today, fill out this form, get the free guide, whatever it is. There's something for them to do right now. That's the direct response piece. We're directly asking them to respond. You can have discounts, you can have special offers, you could have free trainings, you could have webinars, on-demand trainings, just free downloadable resources, whatever it is. You could have an email course. Get something free so there's a reason for them to get started, where it's not they're entering right into a sales conversation. And then always start small. You can test for $100 or a few $100s and just see how things go. And as you're getting traction, then you can scale up and spend more. Here are the jobs that we have as marketers. I tried to simplify this because digital marketing is very complicated. We need to increase impressions. That's when we're appearing on someone's screen, right? Like a Facebook ad. We need to increase the click-through rates, so when they get an impression of our ad, they click. And then we need to increase those conversion rates, and we're doing that by having very effective landing page copy. The headline's good. We've got a video on there, and we've got a nice big button, just like George Jetson. When he'd go to work and he'd push the button, we're letting them push the button, right? We improve the messaging based on who we're speaking to. We improve the targeting. Let's only show our ads to people who are likely to be patients of ours, right? We improve the user experience by just simplifying it down and making it so there's only one thing to do on the landing page. And we measure our results and we do it again. And over time, you can have a highly profitable sales funnel or marketing funnel. Now, some people might think Facebook is dead. No one uses it anymore. Younger people aren't getting on it, whatever it is. The reality is Facebook's targeting algorithm has never been more powerful. And if you're a good advertiser, you're seeing massive returns right now. And by the way, like I mentioned, Instagram ads are inside the Facebook ads platform, and Instagram continues to explode in use. So that's a great way to reach people. And by the way, when Facebook and Instagram are long gone or people stop using it or whatever, everything I'm talking about here is still going to apply. It's going to be the same story on Snapchat, TikTok, or whatever's next, right? It's going to be the same principles. If we're going to be interrupting people when they're in the middle of looking at social media content, we need to get their attention quickly. We need to make a clear offer that's of interest to them. We need to get them to take action. All right, this is my favorite part. I want to show you some wildly successful Facebook and Instagram ads. Are you ready? So I'll do some that are not in healthcare, and then I'll show some healthcare ones. So this client, Berman Coffee Traders, they sold unroasted coffee beans. So it's kind of like brewing your own beer, but it's like roasting your own coffee, right? So they would sell the coffee roasters themselves and then the beans as well that people would roast. And so these are just what some of the ads would look like, so you can get a sense of what those are. I just want you to see the results here. These are just tremendous, where basically they got 9x on their money, 9.38x. So they're putting in $44,000 of ads, got $418,000 in sales. That's 938% return on ad spend. So this is highly, highly profitable for them. Here's another client where they sell these specialty glasses that people use. They can flip down and get magnification and light when they are doing various like arts, crafts, things like that, beading, jewelry making, stuff like that. And we ran this ad. There's a little video demo so people can see it. Just short and simple. This might be a remarketing ad where someone's been to the site and left. These are, a higher priced item. And so maybe people didn't buy them right away. So we remarketed to them. And by the way, this right here, magnifying eyeglasses with brilliant light for creators, we stumbled upon that by running Google ads. We saw how people were searching for products. And we said, okay, maybe that same insight applies over on Facebook. And sure enough, it really worked. The remarketing ads got almost 25x on their money, which is unheard of. But then even just the lookalike ads got 6.3x. So this was a really successful campaign. Here's the Healthy Place. Again, one thing I really love about this brand is their colors are just so vibrant. You can see that green. And also when you think of what are the colors on Facebook, right? Blue and white are the main defaults. And so we want to really jump out and stand out because again, people are scrolling through on these and they're going through quickly and they're not looking to be advertised to. So when you have something vibrant like this, it really jumps out. There's a sale, all caps, 25% off your purchase, right? Here's the friendly team. You get lots of comments and engagement on this because people love their brand and that really helps them. And yeah, that's the 6.9x, also known as 690% return on ad spend. Extremely, extremely successful channel for this great company. Now, many people might think this doesn't work if I'm selling B2B. Here's an example. I sell B2B. I own a digital marketing agency. I sell to other businesses, right? So here's how I do it. I have a free guide. In any industry, there's always a way to educate your prospects of here's what's important, here's what you need to watch for, right? Here are the mistakes to avoid, here's the tips, here's the checklist, whatever it is. So for SEO, search engine optimization, getting to the top of Google, I made a free SEO checklist. I ran this as an ad and I took them to that landing page I showed you. And the only thing to do on the page was either leave or watch the video and opt in, right? And now once people opted in, I would have an upsell, right? So when you go to buy a hamburger at McDonald's and they say, would you like fries with that? The fries is where they make their money. Just like at the movie theater, they're making their money, right? With the popcorn and the soda and everything like that, right? So that upsell is an important moment. They've already decided to do something. You say, okay, you're interested in a checklist. Are you interested in an SEO course? I sell this course for $97. So just a minute ago, someone was just browsing Facebook, looking at friends and family and arguing about politics and looking at puppies, right? And then I saw an ad, they clicked it, they opted in for a free SEO checklist. And then I said, hey, do you want to give me $100 for my course? Who would take that offer? Well, some people did, right? Because they've been looking for a way to rank higher on Google, and here's some information about it. And so a free checklist PDF is great, but even better is a video course. And so some people opted in for the course here. Even 5.88% of the people who opted in did, and that helped me pay for the ads. So I added over 100 people to my email list. We paid for all the ads, and so I'm growing my list, and then I'm selling a course. It's phenomenal. When you normally email people, like say your email marketing service, I don't know if you're using MailChimp or something like that, a normal open rate is on the order of 20 to 25%, maybe 30%. But when you send a series of emails after someone gets your free checklist or your free gift or whatever it is, right, the open rates are much higher. So that when I send the SEO checklist, open rate is about 46%. 6 emails later, I'm still emailing them about SEO tips and giving them ideas and trying to sell my courses, and I'm getting a 35% open rate. So don't just think of your email as something you do, okay, it's a new month, it's time to send a newsletter. Think about it like a flow. Think about it like a series where is someone at in the life cycle of learning about my product or service, right? Educate them about it and take them through that funnel. Remember that rule of 7? Now we're getting up to 7, right? If we get a free guide and we're sending a series of emails, they get to see us day after day in their inbox or week after week, okay? One of the people who opted in said, hey, do you guys do websites? I had a WordPress developer on my team at the time, and we quoted $20,000 for a website. So that was a $20,000 lead that came out of, let's say, $100 of Facebook ads, and I made $200 selling the course. So this was a highly profitable campaign, and this is a way to do it B2B. All right, let's look at some Facebook and Instagram ads from healthcare companies, or at least adjacent to your space. These are some of the clients we've worked with. So Children's Therapy Network, so they do, I think it's occupational therapy. I think that's right, but basically for families where the child has autism. And so we can basically see in bullet points, here's what we treat: ADHD, autism, behavioral social difficulties. Notice the emojis. Some people would think for their brand that's really informal. It's good to be informal. We want to match the medium, right? Think back to magazine ads that kind of looked like articles. You don't want your ad to look like an ad. You want it to match the medium. And so that's why we're being informal. We've got these nice little emojis. We've got a video. Again, not a particularly hi-fi video necessarily, but it's just the owner on camera talking about how she helps families. Here's another one from Senior Living, right? So here's 3 tips for caregivers of elderly family members. The thing we learned looking at their persona was it's usually the daughter or the daughter-in-law who decides it's time to move mom or dad or mom or dad-in-law into senior living, right? And so that's who we're marketing to. That's our persona. And so we know that they may be the caregiver right now. And so we're going to give them information about how to be an effective caregiver for their elderly family member, knowing that in the coming months or years, they may need to move into memory care, senior living, or assisted living, right? And so that's kind of the thought of play that longer game, give people some free value now, and then continue to market to them so when they are ready to buy, you're top of mind and they like you and trust you. This is the social proof piece. So same client, we had a great video of an actual resident who loved living there. And so she got on camera and talked about why she loved staying at this senior living facility, right? And so other people could see that. Again, we're not necessarily marketing to future residents if they're in their 80s, right? But the families are. And so they're seeing this and saying, there's a happy resident. We should take a tour. We should check this place out. Here's a chiropractor clinic. And again, the best proof is social proof. Don't talk about yourself, why people should come become a patient at your clinic, but have someone else who is a patient go on camera and give the testimonial and talk about their experience. It's going to be 10 times as effective as you saying it yourself. Pretty sweet, right? So that's effective social media marketing. Now you can see the why and the how of Facebook and Instagram ads. So here's what we covered. The crucial steps we need to take before getting started. We went over the mistakes you want to make sure to avoid. And we also saw some wildly profitable Facebook and Instagram ads that were very successful campaigns. So you know what to model them after, right? But how do you do all this? So here are 3 options that come to mind. You could spend dozens or even hundreds of hours wrestling with all the tech to get this set up, right? And figure out all the marketing fundamentals and step-by-step, how do we do this? Or you could take a course that I've created, and that's what I mentioned at the top. I want to tell you about that if you're interested. And obviously we do this for clients as well, so feel free to reach out to me. I'll have my email at the very end if you're just interested in having us set this up for you. So I want to talk about the course, option 2. If you're interested in learning how to do this in-house, you've got an intern, a digital marketer, somebody in the marketing department who's interested in this, this is a great course. You can actually watch over my shoulder as I'm setting this up. These are the same videos I use to train team members when I hire them. And so this is the same kind of stuff we do for our clients, and you could do it for yourself if you want to learn how. So it's step-by-step tutorials you can watch over my shoulder as I create ads like this. So this is the perfect training course for you. If you're serious about bringing in new business, or it could be new staff, because I know that's a major need right now, to your company or your organization. If you like learning some of the most valuable skills of the 21st century, like I said, these aren't going anywhere. Facebook and Instagram are going to be around for a while, and even after they're gone, the same principles will apply to social media advertising and advertising online. And then if you're ready to actually implement what you learn, that's really the focus. So I show you, you watch me, but then I also give you the homework of step by step, do this, this, this. I always like to give a checklist, right? So, and you're committed to this idea of data-driven marketing. It's all nice that Coca-Cola runs ads, right? And we got Santa Claus drinking Coke. We got the polar bears around Christmas, right? But those are brand advertising. And if we're a smaller company, we need results. We can't just have people generally aware of us. We need to get results, and we need to measure those results. And that's what I focus on. And you've seen some of the numbers that I've shared with you today. So I had 2 choices. I could have just gone cheap and just made this a simple little thing of here's how you set up a Facebook ad. But obviously to truly be successful, there's more to it than that, right? Those are the pieces that most people are missing. And so I decided to go all in and give you everything you need to succeed with this. So here's what's included in the course, right? And you can get it at mydigitalmarketingmastery.com/Facebook ads course. I'll make sure the URL is provided to you as well, but that's where it is. So here's what's included. So the Facebook and Instagram video course itself, I sell for $97. But that alone, just how to set up a Facebook ad, doesn't tell you all these other things. It doesn't walk you through the full process. So I'm going to throw in Google Tag Manager. That's that tool I showed where I'm keeping track of my tracking code so that when someone fills out one of my forms, it counts as a lead and Facebook knows it. That's that tool. I go over customer personas and copywriting because that's such an important part of any sort of marketing. So this will be a great bonus for you because this will help you write those ads, maybe write that script or know what to talk about in your video, but also this is going to help you with your email marketing. This is going to help you writing headlines or any other marketing you're doing, even offline marketing. Landing pages and conversion optimization course, that's that piece about how do we set up effective pages that are actually going to convert. Each of these is $97, each of these pieces I've mentioned. And then lastly, remember that SEO checklist, and then I sent people a series of emails. So that's email marketing and automation. And that's really going to the next level with email marketing. And let me tell you, Facebook and Instagram ads pair beautifully with email marketing automation, because you can give someone a free gift, a free guide, a free video, right? Whatever it is, and then continue to market to them, hitting the rule of 7 so that they see you more than once. So I sell that course for $97. And then because I want you to be successful, in case you have any questions of anything that's not covered in the course, I offer 1 year worth of office hours. So every month I have Zoom office hours, and you can hop in and ask me questions. You can pull up your screen, show screen, and we will go over any questions you have together. So this is my hourly rate times 12 months, and this is really a big value in itself. This is worth a lot more than I'm actually going to sell this for. So the total value here is $3,365, but for today, I'm only going to charge $197. So this is a very special offer. I know that you're going to get a lot of value out of this. You're going to be able to succeed with your paid social media advertising. I've put everything here so that you can. So just check it out, mydigitalmarketingmastery.com/Facebook ads course, separated with the dashes like that. And yeah, let me know what questions you have. You can always contact me at Egan, E-A-G-A-N, at getfoundmadison.com. I'm happy to talk. If you'd rather just we set up your marketing for you, happy to talk about that. But if you're interested in learning this yourself, this is a great offer. I hope you'll check it out. And it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you take the course, you're not fully satisfied with it, just email me here and I say, hey, no problem. Here's your $197 back. And by the way, you can keep the full course. So it's guaranteed for a month. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned a lot. And I hope to see you in the course or to hear from you. And maybe we could work together. All right.